I just got an email and I got the job.
Okay, we just got the results from the Job Hunting League. Utrecht University rejected Iris van Zelst. The University of Bristol shortlisted Iris van Zelst. But coming in at number 1, the German Aerospace Center hired Iris van Zelst. Woo! Hello, and welcome to another Postdoc vlog. Remember that in February I was applying for this fellowship and it was the first fellowship I was applying to, and I was a bit nervous and I didn't think that I would be the person who would get the job because I knew so many other people who would be much better qualified to get the job. I got that job. This month I had a presentation, I had an interview. The day after they told me that they wanted me and I was over the moon. Over Venus. Yeah.
I'm all shaky and jittery and I'm moving country again. I am moving country again.
Goes to show, just try and you might actually get the job.
I got the job at DLR, German Aerospace Center. The German Aerospace Center. I'm going to be working at the German Aerospace Center on planetary physics, specifically on Venus and exoplanets. How lucky am I?
And I thought it was quite bold of me to apply for the job because it's not really my expertise as of yet. But I really want to work on this. I really have always wanted to study Venus. This is my opportunity to set out that line in my career. That's why I applied, and luckily I got it. Maybe there were no other applicants. I also applied in March for the position of assistant professor at Utrecht University, which I knew was out of my league by a long shot. But, again, I thought, let's give it a try. I've never applied for one of these more senior jobs before, and it's my home university. It's where I did my undergrad, and I would love to return to at some point. And it was an incredibly useful experience because I learned how to write a good teaching statement. At least I hope it was good. Think a bit more about my research vision and how would I lead a group and things like that. They've since rejected me, as expected. Not shortlisted at all, but there were about 500 good applications, I heard, so not mad about it. Didn't expect anything of it. And very curious to see who they will hire. Bristol, bit of unfortunate timing. I actually applied for Bristol on the day that I had my interview with DLR in Germany. Well, then the next day I got the job. So I was like, oops, need to retract the application from Bristol because don't want them to spend time on it. So I emailed them saying, look, I found another job in the meantime. You can disregard my application. But it didn't get through that quickly. So they had already started the shortlisting process, and the professor there who was in charge of hiring very kindly told me that I was in fact shortlisted. So yeah, I appreciated that a lot. She didn't have to tell me that, but it is nice if you are being told that, because it means you have a shot at the job. So yes, in terms of job hunting, that went very well this month. Of course, there was a large part of my to-do list, has been a large part of my to-do list for quite a while. And I think with me getting the job in Berlin at DLR, this cycle of job hunting is over. Quite a nice feeling, actually. A bit more stability for the next 2 years. Why are all these contracts so short? It's the fickle existence of postdocs. Apart from a successful job hunt, I also actually managed to work on quite a lot of other things. I made a lot of progress on 2 of the manuscripts I should be concerned about right now. The one about temperature dependence and the one about splay faults. So, they are progressing, not very quickly, but they are progressing. It was also a very busy month because I had 2 conferences. One was quite a small conference, the NAC, the Netherlands Earth Sciences Conference. If that seems random to you, like I said, my home university is Utrecht. I'm from the Netherlands and I'd never been to the NAC, but it was really nice and something quite extraordinary happened. A nice full circle of academic inspiration. Hello, I am at NAC, as you can clearly see. NAC Geo, Nederlands Aardwetenschappelijk Congres. And lo and behold, I've actually networked today. I mean,
I also can't quite believe it, but here we are. I talked to one of my absolute heroes growing up. I reached out to him. He's a professor in paleontology. I just was very inspired as a kid by dinosaurs and the idea of excavating dinosaurs. And now, all these years later, I actually am a postdoc in earth sciences, geodynamics, whatever you want to call it. So, successful science outreach, I'd say, on his part. He liked hearing that I was inspired by him. And then in a total twist of fate, I got talking to someone else who gave a talk, and I was like, let's meet each other virtually. And that guy said that he had been inspired by me and a talk that I gave 5-6 years ago. So that was really nice. That's made me really happy. So, maybe somehow all this outreach or attempts at outreach have some kind of purpose. If I can inspire one person, I'll be very happy. And now, if you will excuse me, I will continue dancing to the DJ here in my little break, and then I'm gonna play GeoGuessr, because let's continue all the networking.
The other conference was EGU 2021, the General Assembly. Obviously was a bit different this time because it was virtual for the second time in a row. Somehow, I am very involved in the division, organization, outreach. I don't know. It happened, and it's very busy. I had a lot of commitments in terms of short courses, division stuff such as the meeting and social events. And I had my own presentation, which you may have seen on this channel. I do find that with these virtual conferences, you need to put in more yourself. Like you need to make an effort to meet people and to talk to people. Fingers crossed that next year we will actually be able to go to Vienna. I really, really hope so. Please let me go to Vienna. And then, considering things that I enjoyed that were not necessarily work-related, I was very excited by the fact that I got this job on studying Venus, and then I immediately realized I don't know much about Venus, so I panicked a little bit, and I thought in order to fuel my enthusiasm a bit more, and maybe, refresh my memory a little bit on the actual planets, I watched the BBC series The Planets by Brian Cox. I also wanted to watch it because, you are watching this channel, you know that I do science outreach. You could argue that this is science outreach. I'm definitely arguing that it is science outreach. Brian Cox is this great persona in science outreach, and I thought it would be good to see how he does it. And it was very interesting. Maybe one day, I'll be as good as Brian Cox. Probably not. But it doesn't hurt to try. Be ambitious. Then, another thing that occupied me television-wise was Taskmaster. For some reason, I'd never heard of Taskmaster before, but apparently it's a British show with comedians. Every series there's 5 comedians that do the most ridiculous tasks, and you need to think outside of the box and try and be clever about it, but also you have to be fast. I started watching it, and I'm on season 7 now. If you don't hear from me, I'll be watching Taskmaster. Another thing that I did this month was Project Intimacy. Hear me out, it's not weird, I promise. This is an initiative by a Leeds-based theatre company, and I love theatre, and I wanted to watch all the theatre in the world when I moved here because the UK is a great country for great theatre, and then all the theatres closed pretty much as soon as I arrived. Not ideal. Riptide is a local theatre company that specializes in immersive / out-of-the-box theatre, so it's a bit different. For lockdown, they kind of made this experience / social experiment. You would get the number of a stranger who has been matched to you because of your shared interests or your shared values in life, and then every day for 2 weeks, Riptide sends you a prompt and you have to follow that prompt. So it can be, today you're allowed to send 1 message, or today you're going to go on a walk and you are going to send pictures. Kind of brings people together during this time where we're literally isolated from each other. And my partner, called Pip in the Project Intimacy partner, Pip, was absolutely lovely, and we had a lot in common, and she was just great. And in the end, I think we got to know each other very well. I highly recommend trying these things out. It's a local theatre company. I think they stopped doing it now. They do have other similar things, I think, that may run in the future. So, Riptide, Leeds, I don't know, you'll probably see a link somewhere. Yeah, yeah, highly recommend it. It's really cool. And then lastly, in terms of what I have been reading for the book club, we are entering a new thematic year. Yes, I know, I'm in charge of the book club, so obviously there's going to be an annual theme. Last year it was the history of high fantasy, which didn't work so well because turns out everything before Lord of the Rings is boring. So I actually didn't read many of the books that we were supposed to read. Yeah, since we finished Lord of the Rings to end our history of high fantasy year, we are now starting on a new year, and the new topic, the new theme of 2021 is power and politics. Classic dystopian novels. And I'm so excited about it. So the book that we chose to read first was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. It just blew my mind. Couldn't put it away. It's an amazing book. I don't want to spoil anything. I went into this book completely blind, and then from the first page I was like, what? This is so cool. It's amazing. Read it. And with that, I will conclude this postdoc vlog, and I will see you next month. Bye!
This is so exciting.